Who's ready for some boom? Right. Flower clouds covering the sky, but Vietnam, it's the rainy season, and this morning motivation. I'm Mark Saint. This is Saint's Addiction. We're going to talk about speak your mind. That's right. All the alternative thoughts, all the weirdo thoughts, even the thoughts that you thought were secretive. hmm You can speak them. Too many people are afraid to say what they really mean, and they don't mean what they really say. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. We've been hiding behind a lot of false advertising in our minds, and then we tell lies. In this morning motivation, we're going to end all those lies, and we're going to have a real conversation about our real minds. So this is Saint Sticks leg out. Let's go. So I hope you like the new haircut. Buzzed it last night. Got paid last night. Got a little bit of shmoney. Shmoney. You know what I mean? Try to teach people this currency, but basically, if I'm not mistaken, that's $20, 500,000. Another 500,000, another $20. I'm not mistaken. 4 times 5. Yep, 20. And then another $20. So did I do that right? It can't be. A million is 40. Did I take out 2 million? A million is 20. No, 20 would be half a million. So this would be 20, 40. Anyway, I got my rent. I made some shmoneys. Deals closed. Things got landed and almost misunderstood as well. You know, talking with the girl, she's like, Mark, this isn't what we discussed on the phone. I was like, listen here, Karen, your artwork sucked from the jump. Taking a PowerPoint presentation and trying to make it into an 8.5 by 11 flyer doesn't necessarily fly. So she was trying to give me the blame game because women not so good on accountability, but also her artwork not so good. We had to touch it up, and I specifically say that to everyone that it's not our job. It's not our job. We don't touch it. We want print ready files. I don't want to touch it at all. I don't want to have to misinterpret or interpret what's going on from all the way from Ohio. I just want it to be the way that it is. Throw the USB into the computer system, into the printer, and it prints. No questions asked. Just get her done. The reason I'm speaking my mind is because there'd be a lot of people that would like to twist things. I literally just got off the phone with a customer, and it was so weird because the guy was like, yeah, I'm looking at gunship helicopters. And I was like, what the fuck's a gunship helicopter? Like, I don't even know what you're saying right now. And he had a really tough Indian accent. It turned out he was near our shop and he was trying to do some passport shit, right? He was trying to get shit done. Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G Snoop Dogg. He was trying to get it snuck in when we have a $500 minimum. And he was like, can I just come in and show you? I'm like, nah, bro, we don't do that stuff. We're going to roll one for the nation. But yeah, the reason I speak my mind is that way I know what base truth I'm talking from. There'd be a lot of people that will say things that they mean, but they don't really mean it. Like, oh yeah, Mark, I'll take some photos for you. I'm a reliable model. That's what they mean in that moment, right? Shout out to Raw Papers. But that's not what they truly mean in action. And this is why I say speak your mind, because your mind, oh shit, I already broke that. Your mind will whisper to you and go like, is this what you really want? And, it's easy to say, yeah, I want a thinner waistline. But what also will happen is we'll get obsessive about food and overeat. Something weird will happen in our lives. We'll feel some static inside. And then we'll be like, yeah, screw that. I'm going to go get some fast food. This is our minds speaking to us. They're free will, to do what we want to do. Oh, I want to quit smoking. Do you really want to quit smoking? Or is it just hyperbole that you say in your mind just to pacify yourself? The action of it is determinable, right? Like that's going to be like actual force equals momentum equals velocity type shit. Most people, and I mean me included, will do things that are counterintuitive to what we really want. So it'll be people that'll be like, "Oh yeah, let's go do that on the weekend." They sound sincere about it, but that's just them speaking in their mind. That's just some words that are coming out their mouth. They don't really want to kick it on the weekend. They don't really want to change their behavior. They don't really want to hang out with you, but they'll just say, "Oh yeah, sure, let's do lunch." It's the classic example of Hollywood saying, "We're never going to speak again." So it gets you out of their face. It makes them feel better, but they're never going to break bread with you. They're never going to meet you for lunch. They're not going to give a fuck about you. They're going to forget that conversation even happened an hour after they had it. And there are some people that are like that. There are a lot of people that have ADHD. They're confused by the details, kind of like this girl on the phone. She was just like, "I just want to make sure that everything was a matter." And I was like, "Well, you sounded like a Karen when you did this. That's not what we discussed on the phone." And she's like, "Oh no, I didn't mean for it to be that way. That's not what I meant at all." And I'm like, "Listen, there's no tone in text, but your artwork sucked. So if you want to really get your shit together, next time have your shit together." My printer only prints what it's like. I didn't charge you for any design, which I should have, because I always say if I have to touch it even a little bit, I should charge you, right? I got it done on time and I got it delivered to you. And the first thing you say is, instead of "thank you," which is what manners are, you start criticizing the artwork like that's not what we discussed. Now, mind you, there is no discussion. It's just artwork. There's nothing to discuss because the artwork speaks louder than any words that go between humans. So there's no interpretation. I don't get to interpret what's in your head and what's getting printed. That's not how it works. That's not how this works. And I specifically put that in there. On the first thing I said to her and my text message was, "You must have art ready work, print ready files." There's a reason for that, because most people, and all of us, well, I keep saying most people, but most of us, we have different thoughts. This is why I said speak your mind, because what someone's mind is thinking isn't what necessarily other one's thinking. Maybe someone's thinking about sex and the other one's thinking about a relationship. Maybe someone's thinking about borders, white borders around the print, and the other one's giving them "can you fix it for me please" type vibes. And that's not what we do. You can't print in an hour if I have to stop to do the artwork for you, right? Definitely join Weed Club. We're going to join Weed Club this morning. I got some weed. Payday hit, and I picked up a spliff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're gonna smoke this outside, blaze one for the nation. Yesterday, the internet was so bad from the rain, I couldn't even go live. So I tried. I was on the mean streets of Vietnam, but it wouldn't work. This. Some people say that guess what? The people that were talking shit, people were talking shit about them. I've been quiet enough because I don't know anybody on the island to hear people drink me. She's pounding those beers. And then she'll come to the table and talk shit about other people. And lo and behold, guess who was drinking a bunch of beers? Like 10 of them. This girl could drink. And then she went and said cheers to the guy. And she said, "Oh, I told you I was quitting drinking today." And the dude's like, "It got nothing to do with me." Instead of having self-accountability, right? And saying, "No, I don't want that beer," and hand that beer back to somebody. Instead, she tried to put the accountability on someone else. Similar to the deal that I had yesterday, where the girl was like, "That's not what we discussed." And I was like, "Wait a minute." This white stuff on the edges. I'm not sure what that's all about, but my channel might get cut off because, hey, it's one of those days, Let's go blaze one for the nation, join Weed Club. Let's go enjoy our lives. Let's go get some sunshine. Let's look at the poo. Smell the food. Yes, blessed. Check it out. It's nice and chill. Looks calm out here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's nice and quiet. Yeah, sure, it's gray and overcasty, but it's warm outside. So, yeah, you're going to have to speak your mind. because your mind's going to speak to you and you're going to listen to it. You're going to listen to it if you're in fear. You're going to listen to it if it's a misinterpretation. You're going to listen to it if it's inebriated. I was having this conversation with my friend last night, Miles down that way, but I was explaining to him the reason I don't drink is because I start taking things personally. Instead of just going, oh, that's just how that person is, I'll be like, what'd you say to me? You know, I'll get violent. There's something in me where I'm like aggressive. And I'm just being honest about it. You know, I get aggressive. I'm like, I don't want people to just say anything they want to say to me. You can't just talk to me any old way, like we say in the South. I'm very protective of my space. Now, under conscious thinking, I'll just be like, that's how that person is. Let me walk away. Under inebriation, I'll be like, what'd you say? And there's the difference. There's the difference to me speaking inside my mind and speaking my mind with no filter. Some people are like, oh, I got no filter. I'm wild. I'm crazy. Yeah, when you're drunk, you're wild and crazy. When you're reserved and you're an English teacher and now all of a sudden cat's got your tongue, you're going to be like, I'm not like that. You know, like, yes, the girl that was just like, suck it when she was playing pool is also the school teacher, you know? We all have different masks. That's why it's called Mostly Saints. We like to hide behind some of these masks so people don't get to see who we really are. Who you are shouts so loudly, I can't even hear you. It's going to speak before you enter the room. Your body language, the clothes that you're wearing, and your vibe that you're signaling. This is all the speaking that I'm talking about. Man, it's good to have weed. I haven't had weed in like a week. Been smoking too many cigarettes. That's the honest truth. And I had quit nicotine. And then I started smoking spliffs in Finland, like I'm smoking now. And it just made me addicted. I just had to my oral fixation, honestly. That's me speaking my mind and me listening to it. If I keep it a secret, then I lie to myself. There's a way for us to live in denial where we don't necessarily talk to ourselves, right? We'll hear ourselves go, you should probably get off this couch and go for a workout. What we'll end up doing is pacifying ourselves. It'll go from the left brain to the right brain. You'll go in your left brain and go, logically, I should be healthy and doing a workout. In our right brain, it'll shift and go, yeah, but you're sitting here, you're chilling, why not stay comfortable? There's a war going on, that Mostly Saints, that halo and horns. And I'm in here as a psychologist, based from my psychology degree, that we will have a bias to ourselves. We'll reinforce our thinking. We'll be like, that's my political view. That's the way I see it. And perspective is everywhere, but not perception. To perceive the way that you're seeing, to perceive the way that you're acting, to perceive the way that you're thinking is a very deep thought. This is almost... this is the birth of philosophy, right? The way you philosophize your rituals, your religious beliefs, you know, your religion and your beliefs. Ooh, that hit hard. Finally got some weed. Ooh, interpreting. Getting blazed for the morning motivation, man. It's been a minute. Hard to keep your thoughts when you're getting baked. Whew. But I like to think I become internally when I smoke weed. That it calms me. Instead of my mind racing to a million thoughts and being all over the place, I can center myself and calmly like meditate and then do my workouts and then concentrate on some activities that I'm supposed to do, like some paperwork that to do for fucking Stripe. They told me I was approved for an instant payout, but they didn't give me the payout button. I lost a big deal to a big print company that worked on the weekends that I could have used, and they sent me an email going like, there are no more final issues. You already wasted 5 to 6 hours of our time. That would hurt. And that my friend I asked to borrow $500 wanted lending to me so I could make $500. That also hurt. My perception is, I know he's got the money, he's my friend, he should have helped me out. His perception is he doesn't like lending out money. He knows that people, he has money, has power, and he didn't want to give up his power. I'm looking at the situation as he didn't want to let me get power. And that's all that I see it is. This is a power tool. You know, money is a power tool. It makes people move. And all of a sudden, they don't want what they didn't want to do. Now they want to do it. You don't want to get up and go to work and work a 9 to 5, but your stomach will growl, and then you'll be like, maybe I have to. I didn't want to have that conversation with the girl last night. Even I went out of my way to go to 2 different locations. Even I went out of my way to make sure the design got straightened. And I went out of my way to call her back and confront her about this. She was like, that's not what we discussed. And I'm like, listen, Karen, discussions aren't artwork. There are no discussions in artwork. There's no interpretations. It's print ready. The way that you ask for it, the way that it is, that's the way it's going to be. I don't have to interpret what you have in your mind. I don't have to have your perception. I need your perspective. Your perspective is that your artwork is the way that it gets printed. If there's a misspelling, it gets printed. If your phone number's wrong, it gets printed. If the email's wrong, it gets printed. This is why it's called a print ready file. So it's ready to go to print, not ready to be interpreted. And this is what I had to break her down. She's all, I'm so sorry if I came off that way. La da 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 da. And I said, no, man, it's all cool. You know, we'll do business in the future. I'm just telling you next time to make it smooth, give it to me the way that you want it. You know what I'm saying? Give it to me the way that it's intended. And if we're speaking with intentionality, right? What we are intentionally saying is what we are listening to. The way that we even talk to our brains, like you close your eyes and you reflect on your thoughts and the way you reverberate inside your brain, you can close your eyes and say, how am I speaking to myself? Am I speaking to myself with kindness? Am I speaking to myself with negativity? That's why they're called ants, automatic negative thoughts. Or am I speaking to myself constructively? This is a tough thing to do. You know, a lot of us have internal dialogue that we don't exactly examine. I was hoping I wouldn't let that fly in here. That's why we're having this conversation. The conversations that we have in our mind are the conversations that we have in our lives. If we're talking to ourselves hella negative and saying a bunch of bullshit to ourselves, like we're not good enough, I don't have enough money, what if she doesn't like me? You've already killed the opportunity to create a different perception. You don't know if she doesn't like you because you haven't approached. How are you supposed to know what they're into or what they like or how they like being talked to until you start talking? And this is what's going to come out of you. The way you're vibing, you know what I mean? Like if you're really vibing, maybe you're loosey-goosey. If you've had a bad day, maybe you're all negative and grumpy. Let me think of another mood. It's just too baked right now. It's fucking weed. I haven't had weed in a long ass time. Um, it reverberates out of you, you know, that verberation. It's almost like the sounds that are coming out of my mouth right now have a wavelength, right? And your ear is taking it in and hearing it through a drum that listens by vibration. This is how we communicate. We communicate through our vibration as the person that we are, the way we feel about ourselves, you know, the way we are on the inside. That's that first mask, the one you only show yourself. And there's the one you show the world, there's the one you show your friends and family, and the mask that you show yourself. This mask says a lot about us, you know? It's the way we choose to dress. We're going to tell the world that we're all emo and want to wear all black, that we mean all business and we wear a business suit, that we're loosey goosey and we wear a up. And 3, this is how I like to be free. This is the signal I'm sending. The only thing I'm rocking is a shell from the island that I'm going back to next month in Thailand. I'm saying I'm an island boy. You know, I got muscles. I like playing frisbee. I like my freedom. Almost like a surfer, right? Surfs up, dude. I don't have a job, man. You know, except for I rationalized that I wanted to do something that I loved, something that could make money overseas, and something that could pacify me, pacify my thoughts, reiterate my vibrations. People giving me accolades like, you really designed that shirt, the High Life shirt. Yes. This is really your brand. Yes. I really love your sticker. Could I have this? Yes. It's your birthday. Go ahead, man. He loved the high sticker, and I'll show it to you. My poor fruits. It's so fucking humid here that it already fucking turned it into mold, baby. You can see the black mold. Oh my god, it just started leaking. Can you see the black mold on this? You see that shit? And I bought these last night. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. But yeah, the highlight design, while I'm all high, getting lost in what I was explaining. Yep. The highlight design, the dude's like, I love this. And I was like, dude, that sticker's for you, bro. You know? Highlight NASA, baby. Highlight NASA. So I got more stickers. Other people wanted them. He's like, I'm going to put this on my laptop. I thought it was serendipitous. Because I always ask people, please take a picture of wherever you put it, the sticker. And if you put it on your laptop or if you put it on your bike, almost every time. And this guy said laptop on his own. It's fucking amazing. So that sticker was meant for him. My vibration was high that night. I even got high before I got in the club. They even rolled us a joint so we could smoke some more. I was lit like a candlestick, high like NASA, and talking to people in full English. They're from Canada, but they sound like they're from America. And feel the accolades, feel the validation, and feel praise, right? Praise is a strong tool from strangers that it it reinforced that all my hard work is working. You know, that yeah, I could sit there and go, yeah. Oh, that internet wanted to kick out. This is why I couldn't go yesterday. But you know, as I wake up and I stare at my view, I go, "This is the life that I'm living." You know, to wake up on my own time as my own boss. You know, gray clouds over skies. You know, it's warm weather. Looking at green instead of a brick or desert when I'm in Vegas. You know, I pinch myself say, yeah, I can open this door and go smoke a spliff. Yeah, I can fucking go get models and do photo shoots. Yeah, I can fucking make my designs and people will recognize them and want the sticker. It was just all of those things were combined to be in my mind. It's the way that I speak to myself. So if I'm being honest with myself, people were talking about fear, and I said, yeah, I know fear. I've been to prison. She said, I'm sorry to say what? I said, I've been to jail. And she leaned in, and I had to say, I've been to prison. And she's like, oh my God, I felt that. I felt that in my bones, Jones. I really felt that. I'm like, that's real fear. Not being able to open the door when you want to, not being able to smoke when you want to, not being able to eat the foods that you want to. That's real fear, the loss of freedom. And as I sit here shirtless and my free ass traveling the world and my shells around my neck, freedom is my addiction. That's exactly what Satan's addiction is. That's why it's in anarchy. Eh? That's why it looks like this way. You know, for true freedom, right? The ability to free your mind, that you could say what you want to say, do what you want to do, and live the life that you want to live. Now, when I was with my spiritual mentor, Terry Prince, he had said, we all get what we really, 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 really want inside. So I really, really, really want some water, right? But I also want my calm inside. I also want to do my sit-ups this morning. I also want to get a nice breakfast. So all things in order, right? The way that they should be, instead the way that you think that they are, right? Would be in balance, would be in equilibrium, would be the type of person that has a good vibration. If you're that type of person and you let your words vibrate out through the world and vibrate through you, through your soul chakras or whatever you want to call it, we all have a vibration, we all have a frequency, and to emit the frequency so that it communicates with people clearly. I obviously didn't get mad with the girl. I de-escalated her. I reframed her, and I explained to her that her artwork wasn't enough. And if she wants to look a certain way, give it to me that way. That way I don't have to interpret from a different state in two different time zones of what ended up happening. So it's one of those situations where we as people um, have a way of speaking our minds through our souls, through our vibe, through our frequency. And that's what we're interpreting. Not just the words, but the way you feel. Do I feel safe next to you? Do I understand you? Are you speaking a different language, right? And immediately you'll be like, okay, there's not much I can say right now because they're speaking Russian, or there's a lot of Russian, there's a lot of Indians, there's a lot of Vietnamese, and all three of those languages I don't speak. Hell, even the other day there were some girls on the beach, and they were on some, oh, we're speaking Chinese. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, but they spoke pretty good English. So it's like, if you're sitting there with someone else's different language, you're going to be like immediate, like, I can't communicate with you. And both of you kind of walk away, misinterpret, know you don't understand each other, almost like dogs smelling each other's butts, and be like, nope, that's not my kind of dog. And then when you're speaking, are you speaking from a position that you had a good day or a bad day? Right? That vibe's probably, and smell and pheromones are all over you. And then when you're listening to somebody, you're going to be like, is the quality of their brain, the way that it's putting the words together, worth listening to? Right? Like, you'll be right in front of the person and be like, I don't think I'm smarter for listening to this. Matter of fact, I think everybody is dumber for have listened to you, and I award you no points. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way you want to listen to crazy. So we interpret a lot. We are picking up frequencies like antennas. We are scanning all five senses. It's not just the hearing. It's also not just the sight. It's also the smell. Yep, yep. And the feel, that we interpret the worlds around us and the people that are in it and the characters and the players. And some of them are books to me, like I just open their book and I'm just like, wow, that's an interesting book. So, we can be speaking our minds, as in like uh, whatever words or thoughts are coming into our head, but it's more like we're speaking our vibes. That's what it is. We're speaking our vibes. Speak your vibe. Because what ends up happening is that's what people are going to feel anyway. That's what people are sensing anyway. And that's how you will be perceived anyway, whether you like it or not. It's going to be more than just the scan. Yeah, someone saying that when a man walks into a room, he walks directly to the chair that he's trying to go to. When a woman walks in the room, she walks and gets to the chair she wants to, but she also noticed if the teacher was in a good mood, the fuchsia pink purse that was next to that girl, and probably the shoes that you're wearing. She's picking up data so much faster and a different frequency and reading vibe. That's what we operate on. I don't give a shit who we are or what we're doing. That's what we do. So it's one of these things that, as data processors, as the human AI that we are scanning things faster than Robocop. We are picking up on all sorts of data, but maybe we're not speaking our mind. That's what this whole morning motivation is. We're speaking our vibe, and maybe we don't notice it, but we like to think that we can fool other people with the clothes that we're wearing, or we like to fool other people behind a fake smile. But we know when somebody's on the switch up. We know when someone's angry. We know when someone is sad. It's instantly, and happy. You know what I mean? And like, we read signals, and that's what we speak. We speak in signals. So that's this morning's motivation. If you got anything out of this, you already know. Like, share, and subscribe below. And as always, Chigaton. That means goodbye, but not forever in Phoenix. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. The other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, because that's where I'll be. Peace. Yes, blessed.